So welcome back to LightWave Guru, and I think anybody think now I show the hottest shit with LightWave 2018 now, and this year what I show, it would be not the tutorial. So I show not tutorials, and the reason is, for example, for that scene here, it's too complex, yeah, to make a tutorial. It needs an hour to explain all that what I do in that scene. But one of the users, he commented my video I uploaded yesterday with the name Debris and Human Spacecraft, wrote tutorial please. So Orlando, it make no sense to make a tutorial for that. It cost me 1 hour or more, but I can show the principle I create that scene, yes? So for all that is LightWave 2015 version 3 and not 2018. You see 2018 here. And the simple reason is that I can show my work with 2018 if the newest Octane version for LightWave 2018 is released. Yes, in the moment the Octane plugin is in the beta. Yeah, beta, and so it make not sense to show things with the beta. And the reason is the beta have some issues and bugs, and Juanjo Gonzalez and the LightWave group clear at time and fix that little bugs, yeah. And also in the instancer was a little bug, and I show that Juanjo and he fixed it at time. So I show later stuff with 2018, yeah, with a version from LightWave for 2018, and I think that's more professional, yeah, if I have then the official version from the new Octane plugin for LightWave. So what you see here is a massive instancer scene with LightWave 2015. I close now here the render, and you can see in the OpenGL panel the instances. And the principle to create things like that is you have some geometry that help you to instance instances in that area here. And if you change, for example, the look and go to perspective, and we rotate a little bit here, you will see I have some helper objects to create that kind of instancing. Yeah, that means the debris on the rings here is created with the instancer and helping texture, and you see here all that holes, yeah, and that holes make for the camera in different angles a very good looking randomizing feeling, yeah. That means I create for that texture here. That's a texture. He says the instancer you have to grow on the white, on the color white here, the satellite trash, and on the black areas you have not to instance the satellite trash. And the reason is with that principle I can create more randomness. So that's one from my tests, and it works very nice. And that means you have here, you see here very different methods of instancing. So we have here, if I show it as shaded view, we can do it, yeah. We go in the scene editor, they can show that asteroid rings as shaded. You see that's helping geometry, and that geometry would not be rendered later. It's only for the satellite trash instances with that rings, yeah. And the idea was that we show that the debris grow over the time around the Earth, yeah, and it would be go more and more and bigger, yeah. And that's what you see in that video. And all the instances you see it is represented with boxes. And the reason is, if I say represented with real 3D shaded geometry in the OpenGL space, yeah, I think every computer would be go over the Jordan. Yeah, you know what I mean? It would crash. It's too much instances. So that means you have here, if you take a look under the instances for every object, and now we see the asteroid ring number 3 instances, yeah, for different satellites. I loaded down from the NASA page, yeah. There you find all satellites from the last 40 years he started or built it. And that's is for all that for asteroid rings, yeah, to instance that. And then we have also here a name, object with name it Schrott in German, instancer, a ball, and that's for the Earth himself, yeah, for that area here. And there you find more instances, yeah. And Schrott means trash in English, yeah. That's a trash for that growing part here in the middle, yeah. So, and in the end, if I have instanced all the satellites around the Earth on that rings and on that Earth, yeah, that's a trash ball on the Earth, I have to animate that, yeah. And then you can animate it, for example, with some simple methods, yeah. You can, for example, if you change the size from the trash ball, and I do that, you can see it here in that here for the scaling, and I begin with a scaling from 0.584 here, and I end then with a scaling from 1, yeah, and I scale for that only the instancer ball himself, and all the trash satellites here instanced on the ball would following, yeah. And if you open the instancer, you can see that I also animate the instances on that ball a little bit here, yeah. So that means that every individual satellite have a rotation over the time, yeah, from his or for his rotation value, yeah, for his rotation parameter. And in the end, if you see then the animation on my YouTube channel, you can imagine why all the satellites are in motion and why all the satellites rotate, yeah. And that is only created for the trash ball from the Earth, and the rest from that asteroid rings is also animated a little bit, but only a little bit, yeah, so that we have a nice slow motion over the time, yeah. And that's the secret from scenes like that. And yes, it looks complex, and it is complex, so you cannot create a tutorial and I cannot explain every parameter that need an hour, you know. But from the principle, you have now an idea what I do in that case. And in the end, I can talk about a little bit about that thing here. So what is it here? That big ball here, yeah? And that big ball represents the area, and there I would see volumetric lights, yeah? So that's also a helper object for my Octane setup to create a volumetric light. They go there in the surface editor, yeah? And I name it scatter ball, and I go in the nodes. You can see that I have here on that ball a scattering medium, yeah, with an explicit color for the scattering, and that blue color scatter later the main light, my sunlight, in that inside the area from that ball to give me then that volumetric light, yeah. And if you load that scene, you're in the interactive preview renderer from Octane, you would see it need a while, and the reason is it's really a huge scene, and you need for that yeah, a little bit more VRAM, yeah. So I don't know what the VRAM number is. I have to take a look with you now, and you see that time to pre-process all objects and load it in the VRAM, that Octane can render it. It needs a while. Yeah, it's nothing. It's not a lightweight scene. Yes, so it updating the scene in GPUs. That means all the geometry and parameters is loaded in the VRAM, and yeah, now you see that Octane begin to render, and you see that scene need more than 5 GB in VRAM, yeah. So that's a huge scene, yeah. So then you see here the effect from that scatter ball, yeah. That means I have here my main light, and the light goes in that ball, and inside that ball the light would scattering, and the effect that the light here goes darker and darker, and the volumetric light create a shadow, yeah, behind the earth here, and so bring a very nice effect later if it's an animation. And it means also that I have here in that volumetric scattering ball create a ramp, yeah, a fall off for the light, yeah. So that's what I can say to that kind of scenes. Here you see here that ramp, that's the phase, yeah, phasing, it's the name. If you would create gradients, yeah, a phase is a gradient, yeah, or a ramp. I think everybody understand what I mean. So that's behind the scene, yeah. If I create scenes like that, and at time I produce much stuff for space animations, and that's the reason I work simultan with LightWave 2015 version 3, and also I make my tests with LightWave 2018. But the first animations with 2018 explicit more as that one example with the OD tools I show on my channel, I will show them later, yeah. So I need now absolutely my production stability, a stable environment to produce my scenes, and that's the reason I use at time LightWave 2015 version 3, yeah. That means here is all fixed, all the plugins works very well, including the Octane plugin, and yeah, that's the reason. So I think nobody understands nothing. See you later, have a nice time.